right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. I gotta say, I love this Flex Pro weekend show. These guys are just back to back to back posting updates. They're all super confident in how they're looking. This is less than a week out. We're just days away from the show, and still all the top guys are just posting video after picture after picture because they all look incredible. So I want to start out with Nathan Asha. This is a video from his coach, Boss of Outlaw, who you guys might be familiar with because he also coaches Wesley Vissers. He also coaches Urs Kausinski. So he's known for bringing these guys in pretty crazy shape. I mean, Urs Kausinski is a good example of that. So we've got this posing video, but I also wanted to throw in these pictures from my buddy Alejandro Casani, who lives in Italy. He's like a photographer there, and he was sending me these behind-the-scenes shots of Nathan from essentially the filming of this video, just to give you guys a slightly different perspective and angle on this thing. And then in addition to those, there were also some more photos from Rep 1. So these were in the gym. So these were in a different setting with different lighting to give you guys another perspective on how Nathan is looking. And look, honestly, I think Nathan looks great here. I think he's definitely one of the favorites to win this show. I still stand by what I said. I still think that he looks downsized compared to previous versions of Nathan, particularly in the upper body, especially throughout the arms. But he looks really dry here, really conditioned. He looks like he's hitting his peak just the way he wants to. And again, I think that a lot of people, when they saw those initial videos of Nathan when he announced the beginning of his prep, a lot of people were pretty pessimistic about how Nathan was going to look or how he looked in that beginning video. So I think this after product that we see here in this video is pretty impressive considering the starting point. Honestly, it's just good to see Nathan back. It's good to see him in shape. It's good to see him ready to compete again. I hope that if he wins this show and if he qualifies for the Olympia, I hope that we actually see him on the Olympia stage again this time. Like I've already mentioned, he has the highest Olympia placing in this lineup. He was 7th place in 2017, and he's won more shows than anybody in this lineup, and I think more shows than all of the show winners combined have won that are competing in this lineup. He's got 9 pro wins, and this would be his 10th. But part of the thing that I think makes this show so good is that even though Nathan is by far the on-paper favorite, just based on his track record and contest history, these other guys that aren't necessarily the favorites on paper, they all look phenomenal too. For example, Regan Grimes, he's been the topic of conversation a lot going into this show. He posted another physique update today, a most muscular shot at 3 days out from the show, just showing off again the size that he's put on during this prep. He said in a post previously that he expects to weigh 20 pounds heavier than what he felt was his previous best physique on stage. What he weighed for that look, he thinks he's going to be 20 pounds heavier here on stage at least, which is significant, very significant. 20 pounds of stage weight is no small amount. And if he does bring the conditioning, I feel like he's really one of the favorites to win this show. That's the biggest if factor for me, is what kind of shape is Regan going to be in on stage when he's next to these guys. Because I think Blessing is in really good shape. I think Nathan is in really good shape. But Regan, it's hard to tell because he is so much bigger. We're looking at a different version of his physique. So that's the one thing that I think could bring him down, is if he's not in good enough shape. But he's certainly bigger, significantly bigger, like noticeably. And that's really the thing in the back of my mind is he going to sacrifice conditioning for this added size? And that's what we're going to find out in just 3 short days. But honestly, I'm really impressed with what we're seeing here from Regan. And if we line them up, we've got a most muscular... This is the insane part about it. All these guys posting all these updates during the week of the show. We've got most musculars from all of them now, including Nathan, Regan, and Blessing, who I think are going to likely be the top 3 here. So Regan looks huge, Blessing looks peeled out of his mind, and Nathan looks fantastic. I would be pretty surprised if this wasn't your top 3, but again, you've got guys like Roman Fritz in here, Andrea Musi, Tim Budashim, Theo LaGuerrier. And the cool thing is, all these guys that are other top guys are representing other countries. Tim Budashim from Germany, Theo LaGuerrier from France, Nathan Asha from the UK, Blessing and Regan from the U.S. So not only do you have all these top guys that have won shows in this lineup, they're from all over the world representing different places and bringing very different packages from all over the world to this show. I could not be more excited to see how this thing plays out. This has got to be one of the most exciting shows we've seen all season, for sure. Let me know your predictions in the comment section down below for this weekend's Flex Pro Weekend Italy. All right, so next up in the news, let's fast forward a little bit. So this is something that I think is a pretty cool story, but it's for 2024. So the Arnold Classic UK next year will be just 2 years after the Arnold Classic US. And the prize money for that show is going to be $130,000 just for first place in men's open bodybuilding, with over $500,000 total cash across all the divisions. This is a pretty big deal when you consider the fact that the Arnold, Ohio is still 2 weeks before. They're probably going to stay at that $300,000 number for first place for the Arnold Classic Ohio. So between the two shows, in a 2-week span, between the Arnold US and the Arnold UK, if the same guy won both shows, he would be winning more prize money than the Olympia. That would be $430,000. If, say, Samson came in and did the US and the UK and won both, he would win $430,000 between the two shows. First place at the Olympia is $400,000. So I think this is a perfect example, again, of what we've talked about with Arnold himself, what he's doing for the sport of bodybuilding. When he bumped up that prize money for the Arnold, Ohio, everybody was talking about what a great contribution that was. And now he's doing the same thing for the UK, because remember, previously the UK wasn't ran necessarily by Arnold. The Arnold UK wasn't necessarily ran by Arnold and his Arnold US team. And for this year, 2024, they took over, and one of the first things they did was bump up the prize money heavily. So if anybody questioned Arnold's dedication to promoting bodybuilding, investing in bodybuilding, supporting bodybuilding, I think there's no question now, because within 2 weeks, he's paying more than the Olympia for his two shows, just to the winner. I mean, pretty much every other, with the exception of a few, the majority of the men's open bodybuilding competitions that we watch, that we talk about throughout the season, the prize money is just $10,000 for first place. That's it. That's the majority of what we're talking about here. So at the top of the food chain, you always had the Olympia, then the Arnold, Ohio, and then it was the New York Pro. But now the top three is really the Olympia, the Arnold, then the Arnold UK. And the distance between the Arnold UK and whatever show would be in that fourth place rank is not even close. There's no other show paying a six-figure prize money for first place for men's open. It just hasn't happened in years since the Arnold Classic came along, the first one. So my point being, with this much prize money between two shows, just 2 weeks apart, I think that you are going to see incredible bodybuilders come out of the woodwork to do both shows. Because the prize money for second place, even at the UK, is $75,000. I think at next year's Arnold and Arnold UK, you're going to see the best two lineups in Arnold Classic history show up for these shows. All right, now the final story that I want to talk about today, I wanted to show you guys this latest physique update from classic physique competitor Jose Maria Mete Berry, a.k.a. Made El Man on Instagram. So this upcoming Dubai show, which is just a couple weeks away, apparently there's a $20,000 cash prize for classic physique. And what it looks like is this is going to be a hell of a classic physique lineup, because you've got Jose Maria Mete. I know that Wesley Vissers is doing it. It looks like now that also Terrence Ruffin, Rough Diesel, is doing it before Legion. And I've always been a fan of Jose's physique, and I thought these were some pretty impressive physique updates. And we've already talked a lot about both Wesley and Terrence Ruffin, so I wanted to give him some love as well. He looks really good in these updates, and I think this is going to be a nice little this end to the season. I feel like these shows for men's open bodybuilding, a show like this for classic physique, Legion, where you got the last opportunity to qualify just in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It looks like we're going to have a nice little cap to the competitive season before the Olympia, where we get to see really competitive shows. I mean, to get to see Terrence Ruffin, it looks like compete twice before the Olympia in this Dubai show and then in Legion. I guess it depends. I'm assuming he's going to win the Dubai show, but if he doesn't, then he would have to do Legion to get to the Olympia. But it seems like for both men's open bodybuilding and classic physique, we're getting a really exciting end to the season. These shows seem to have really stacked lineups. And I'm excited for it. As a bodybuilding fan, I love to see this. This is awesome. So that's going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Click that bell notification icon if you have not already to be notified every time I post a video. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NICKS&P, my Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power, my secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.